All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into this really fascinating online conversation. It all started with one of life's heaviest questions. What are the things we can never, ever get back? But what's so interesting is where that question led to this passionate, full-blown debate about the simple act of taking a walk. So, how did this whole thing kick off? Well, it began with one single, powerful question, something that really gets to the heart of what it means to lose something that's truly irreplaceable. And this was it. This was the question that was dropped into the forum. Now, before I show you what they came up with, just take a second. What would your three be? Okay, you got 'em? Well, the community consensus pretty quickly landed on three absolute pillars of human life. First up, and probably the most universal answer, was time. It's the one currency we are all spending every single second of every day, and there's just no way to get a refund. The second was something so personal and so fragile: trust. The overwhelming feeling was that once you break it, it's almost impossible to piece it back together again in the same way. It's just never quite the same. And third, a cornerstone of our very existence, our health. I mean, if you lose that, your life is fundamentally changed. But, the community didn't just stop there and make a list. They got really poetic about what this kind of loss actually feels like. Yeah, people went way beyond just naming things. They started sharing these beautiful and sometimes painful descriptions of what these losses are really like, turning these abstract ideas into something you can feel. I mean, listen to this quote about trust. It just perfectly captures that feeling of permanence. The idea isn't just that trust is damaged, it's that it's gone. Like a soul leaving a body for good. That was a huge theme that kept coming up. And this movie metaphor for time, it's just brilliant, right? It perfectly illustrates the finality of it all. So many people were saying the same thing. Life just doesn't offer any do-overs. Every single moment is a one-time only screening. And from that point, the whole conversation it expanded. You could see how those core ideas of time, trust, and health branched out into all these deeply personal, relatable pains. The sting of a missed opportunity or the heavy weight of words you wish you'd said. So with all this heavy stuff on the table, where does the conversation even go from there? And this is where things took a really interesting turn. Faced with all these profound, heavy losses, the discussion pivoted to something surprisingly simple, something that could be a path to coping: just walking. This one user just nailed the whole idea. Physical movement can unlock a mind that feels stuck. It's not just about exercise, it's about creating mental space. But, and this is a big but, this seemingly simple idea, it sparked a really fierce debate. And that led us to the central conflict of this entire online discussion. Is walking a genuine aid for clinical depression, or is that advice way too simplistic, maybe even harmful, and only really helpful for a temporary sad mood? Okay, so first, let's look at the perspective that walking really is a powerful tool. Some users were pointing to actual research, like this Harvard study that was brought up in the forum, which found a pretty powerful link between walking regularly and lowering your risk of developing depression. The debate basically split into two very clear camps. On one side, you had people arguing that yes, walking is a real science-backed tool that literally changes your brain chemistry for the better. But the other side pushed back hard. They said that advice completely misses the point of severe depression, where just the act of getting out of bed can feel absolutely impossible. And wow, this user's comment really gets to the heart of that counter-argument. For some people, being alone with your thoughts isn't healing at all. It's a trap. It can actually make that negative self-talk louder, which is the exact opposite of what you need. So, okay, if it's not some magic cure, then what is the real value of walking? Well, one user offered this absolutely fascinating theory that steps back from the whole medical debate to look at the structure of modern life itself. So here's where this really cool theory came in. The argument goes like this. Maybe the root problem isn't just about brain chemistry. Maybe it's that we have systematically, piece by piece, eliminated quiet time from our lives. Our ancestors had hours of it just by default. We fill every spare second with a podcast, with music, with something on a screen. So from this perspective, walking isn't the cure itself. Instead, it restores a crucial, missing ingredient for our mental balance, the quiet space to just think things through. And that brings us to this final, really powerful thought to leave you with. The entire journey of this conversation, from loss to recovery, seems to circle back to this one idea. In a world that's always telling us to go faster, what can we get back by just slowing down? Maybe one of the most valuable things we've lost isn't just time or trust, but the quiet moments we need to process it all. And maybe a simple walk is one way we can start to reclaim it. Thanks for joining us.